Welcome to dxSudoku training video number 122. In this video, I will discuss all the different types of lock candidates that can occur in a Sudoku puzzle. I will begin by discussing the different parts of the lock candidates pattern. Next, I will cover the differences between lock candidates type 1 and lock candidates type 2. I will discuss two Sudoku terms, box row and box call. And I will discuss lock candidates having a vertical and a horizontal orientation. And I will provide a final tally of all the different types of lock candidates. The lock candidates pattern occurs over 3 blocks, which is called a chute, which is now outlined. The chute currently outlined is composed of blocks 1, 2, and 3. Some people use the word box instead of block. In my videos, I prefer to use the word block. In this video, the first row-wise chute composed of blocks 1, 2, and 3 is where the lock candidates pattern is occurring. In this pattern, we find a set of lock candidates in the house making up row 3 for the number 2 pencil mark. Now we are going to discuss the individual parts that make up the lock candidates pattern. Every set of lock candidates is composed of 3 parts. First, there's the lock part. The lock part is composed of 2 or 3 cells, and in this example is shaded in light green. The second part is called the candidate free part. In this example, the candidate free part is shaded in purple. And the third part is 1 or 2 kill zones, now shaded in red. In this example, there are 2 kill zones on each side of the lock part. When the lock part and the candidate free part share the same block, this is known as lock candidates type 1 pointing. The pointing means the candidates within the kill zone can be removed. Next, we will consider the logic for how the lock candidates work. For any candidate in the kill zone, let's assume that candidate is the value of its cell. The problem is when we choose 2 as the value of cell 3, 9, the other candidates in the house making up row 3 must be erased. This is because the Sudoku rule says there can only be one number 2 set as a value in the house making up row 3. But this creates a problem. For the house making up block 2, there are no open cells where the number 2 can be set as a value. So we must conclude the possible 2 candidate in cell 3, 9 is a non-possible candidate. Or the house making up block 2 will violate the Sudoku rule by not having at least one of each number in its house. This is what makes the lock a lock. If we do not choose one of the candidates in the lock part, the block house will be missing a number. Notice how the 2 in cell 2, 1 and the 2 in cell 6, 6 create and define the set of lock candidates we find in the house making up block 2. Next, consider lock candidates type 2, known as claiming, now shaded. With lock candidates type 2, the free candidate part is outside the block containing the lock as shown. And with lock candidates type 2, the kill zone is in the same block with the lock part. The logic for the lock candidates type 2 is similar to the logic for the lock candidates type 1. If we assume cell 3, 2 is set to a value of 8, then there is no place where the 8 can be set as a value in house making up row 1. So we must assume the possible 8 candidate in cell 3, 2 is a non-possible candidate. Notice how the 8 in cell 7, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 8 create and define the set of lock candidates located in block 1. In my videos, I try to keep the Sudoku terminology to a minimum. But at this point, I'm going to introduce 2 new existing Sudoku terminologies to my series. The first term is called box row. A box row is a set of 3 horizontal cells within a block. Box row number 1 is currently highlighted. Here is box row number 2, and here is box row number 3. Each 3x3 block has 3 box rows. Because there are 9 blocks, there are a total of 27 box rows. The second new term is box call. A box call is a set of 3 vertical cells within a 3x3 block. Box call number 1 is currently highlighted. Here is box call number 2, and here is box call number 3. Each 3x3 block has 3 box calls. Because there are 9 blocks, there are a total of 27 box calls. There are 27 box rows. Each box row can be the lock part of a set of lock candidates. In this example, box row number 1 is being used as the lock part. And because the candidate free part is in the same 3x3 block as the lock, this is a set of lock candidates type 1 pointing. All box row type lock candidates have a horizontal orientation. Here is box row number 14 lock candidates type 1. And here is box row number 27 lock candidates type 1. There are 27 box calls. Each box call can be the lock part of a set of lock candidates. In this example, box call number 1 is being used as the lock part. And because the candidate free part is not in the same 3x3 block as the lock, this is a set of type 2 lock candidates, or claiming. All box call type lock candidates have a vertical orientation. Here is box call number 14 lock candidates type 2. And here is box call number 27 lock candidates type 2. So let's summarize all the different types of lock candidates. There are 27 box row type 1 lock candidates. There are 27 box row type 2 lock candidates. There are 27 box call type 1 lock candidates. And there are 27 box call type 2 lock candidates. We have 4 sets of 27, or a total of 108 different types of lock candidates. This video is now complete. Please support dxSudoku by purchasing one of my books. Thank you for your support, and thank you for watching.